Ridiculous above. It's this again. Okay. Negatory on the recording working. I swear, one of these days I'm gonna have to get a newer model so it actually works. Okay. There we go. See? Always had faith in you, little guy. Took me long enough to get this thing set up again. Well, I've docked on Terra. Nice planet, but it doesn't look like it's advanced much in the past century or so. Getting through Terra's atmosphere was relatively standard procedure. Entered orbit and targeted a low population area in order to land. Relatively forested area with large bodies of water, mountainous regions, and plenty of cover for the ship. After wrestling with the controls for a bit and deploying the last of my fuel to the scout's thrusters, I landed in a wooded area and burnt my last stealth charge to keep the ship under wraps until she recharges. The area I've landed in is quite pleasing. I feel like you'd like it here. There are enormous, beautiful trees, wild grass, and other plant life which is so vibrant and inviting, even compared to the constant storms on Proxima. I can't wait to take you places like this. Places where you can enjoy the sights and sounds in peace without having to wear a heavy protective suit or use Gentech augmentations. Don't even have to use stimulants to repel the effects of the environment here. I even saw some of those avian creatures that the travelers brought back to the entertainment hub on Proxima. I tried to pet one, but it flew away the second I approached it. Strange. You know, animals usually like me, but I digress. There are flowers, too. Scans show that there are a myriad of different flowers I believe you'd find quite attractive. There are asters which come in colors such as blue, indigo, violet, white, red, and pink. Little patches of bright yellow buttercups, coneflowers, and plenty of other varieties. I'm sure that you'd enjoy spending plenty of time walking through the vegetation and smelling all there was to be smelled. You've always been the type to learn everything you could about anything you came across. I've always admired that about you. A few other species I managed to get a quick scan of were lilies, fragrant bright reddish-orange marigolds, and serene-looking windflowers. Though out of all the ones I saw today, I think my favorite are... probably moonflowers. Nothing grew on Proxima Centauri, but I remember that we had a similar-looking plant growing in our living room back on Proxima 5. It reminds me of when we used to spend hours on hours tending to your plants. Can't wait to do that again. Can't wait to have you scold me for not taking care to water them enough or water them too much. I'm a slow learner, but I'll get it through my head. When I see you again one day, maybe my glow sparks will be in full bloom and healthy. It'd be a surprise to us both, I'm sure. I took a trip into the township and sought out sustenance for both myself and for the scout. The locale was quaint, rather charming and simple, far different than the extravagant buildings of Eternum or the more functional constructions of the Hugak. They're a good mix, and honestly, I might consider having one of these built for myself someday. I arrived early in the morning before the Terrans had begun their daily business in the town, and I had an ample opportunity to deploy my survey drones. They built a three-dimensional scape of what the area looked like, and I can say with certainty that this is quite the hospitable environment. Various buildings for entertainment, such as a theater, with evidence of high traffic. There's a place to pick up rations, which looks very interesting compared to my current supplies. One thing I am truly excited about while I wait for my fuel to regenerate is the food. It's always so interesting to see what other places have to offer in comparison to what I already know. There is a single building of worship here as well, though it seems that it's only used primarily one day per week. Perhaps this is some strange Terran ritual that I don't know about yet. While I do want to get the salvaging mission done with for that Hugak, I really want to learn more about Terra. I'll have to do my research before I head out again anyways. I've learned after taking a trip into the town that there are multiple things that I should do before proceeding here. Oh, and I can tell you about my visit into the town's limits. It was definitely a very exciting experience, and one that I admittedly enjoyed quite a lot. I came across a quaint little coffee shop while it was still the early hours of morning. There wasn't anyone on the streets yet, and there weren't any shops open yet either. Well, all but one. This small coffee shop had its lights on, and when I walked past it, it smelled absolutely enticing. I hadn't smelled anything quite like these scents before, and when I stepped in through the door, the rich aromas of foreign culinary foods flooded the air. The shop was small and humble, but beautiful. And I was quickly greeted by a lovely young Terran who I asked for assistance in acquiring goods for my ration stocks. It was raining, and while the clouds had almost completely blotted out the sun, it was still a beautiful day. The smell of fresh rain on grass and hot pavement is quite relaxing. Even the sounds of a light breeze rustling the leaves on the trees surrounding the town only added to the ambiance. The town is charming, to say the least. It's days like this that I remember how much I want to return to you and explore beautiful locales such as this, offering you the opportunity to run free wherever you please and enjoy life to your heart's content. They were a very accommodating and caring clerk, tending to my needs and getting me what I needed. I settled on 3 gallons of something called blonde coffee, along with 2 sandwiches, one of which I ate on site along with the hot coffee. Both of which were quite pleasing, I must say. I'm not sure if you'd like it, but it'd be an experience I think you should try regardless. There isn't much that's worse than those gelatinous ration bars on Proxima, as I'm sure you already know. We spent some time talking in a booth while the coffee brewed away, discussing what we did in what little spare time we had. Aside from the small talk, the Terran who went by the title of barista provided me with an itinerary of what I should do to better fit into Terran society. It was a kind gesture of them, but far from the kindest thing that they did for me. As it turns out, unicreds and general bartering goods aren't accepted as currency on Terra. They do not take Golgari gems or even contractor tags. Quite intriguing, to say the least. At the end of our transaction, I wasn't able to pay for the supplies I had requested. The barista ended up paying my tab, and I was very grateful. In return, they asked that I take them out to dinner once they were done work at 8 p.m. tonight. I'll arrive early so no one has to keep them waiting. A bounty hunter never remains in debt for long, and I am certainly in debt to that barista for their kindness. They stated that it was to be a dinner date that I take them on, so after doing some research I've decided that I'll take them somewhere nice after I procure the necessary funds. I'm going to set up our date somewhere nice, hopefully. There aren't too many options in this town, so I've set my sights on a place in Milan with one of the highest average ratings per patron that has been there. Hopefully I can manage to find a reservation for myself. That, or I'll have to buy my way in. The waiting time to get in is far too long. A few months. That just won't do. I'll find a way though. I know I will. Always do. Call it misplaced tenacity. Now let's go through my itinerary for the day. We have quite a fair bit to cover before 8 o'clock p.m. tonight. She will surely be tired after a long day at work running that coffee shop, and I don't want to keep her waiting. Running late is unbecoming of a Proximan. Now let's check the planner. First and foremost, I have to store the goods I picked up from the barista. 3 gallons of coffee into the hold. I'll need to head out and find food as well, but that's a problem for another time since I have a few days worth of rations stored away. This blonde coffee, I wonder if she'd be willing to make more for me. It's really a pleasant drink to have, especially on a rainy day like this. The warmth of the beverage juxtaposes the subtle coolness here. I could certainly get used to it. Oh, and this sandwich. It's the second one I would have had today. They're delicious. So good. Another thing about Terra I could certainly acclimate to rather quickly. It's warm, crunchy, salty yet sweet at the same time. I can't pinpoint what the ingredients are. But there's definitely meat, and you know I have a particular soft spot for protein that doesn't come from insects or plant fiber. Before I get into this snack too much, I suppose I should set this ship to charge. I don't know why I didn't do this immediately after landing. Perhaps my excitement to explore this place got the better of me. Exploration, another thing that I've always held dear to me. Alright, load up the solar charges and... there we go. Let's see how long it takes to charge up based on the solar power here alone. That's quite a while. I suppose that I'll have to stay here for a bit longer than I'd previously anticipated. The incident at the warp gate certainly took its toll on the scout's power levels. I guess that it can't be helped. Now with that out of the way, I suppose I should move along with the itinerary and see what needs to be done. Ah, yes. The most important aspect of today's activities, I believe. Acquiring what the Terrans call dollars. It's the equivalent of our unicreds in terms of their use. They also have some kinds of currency which don't work on certain items or only in specific locations. I find this very odd, very inefficient, but I'm not here to bore you with the finances of Terrans. The barista stated that almost everywhere in the vicinity utilized the same currency. When I tried to pay with a gold bar, she stated that I'd have to pay with dollars, or I could barter for something with the gold to get more dollars. Recommended me to a pawn shop in the area, but warned me to be careful of being swindled. I'll make certain to get what this gold is worth in full. Though, I'm doubtful that the small shop in this town will have enough on hand to pay out for what the gold's lump sum is worth. I might have to find passage to another location in order to get what I believe I'll require to sustain myself on this planet. For a moderate duration at least, while the ship recharges. Once I have acquired my funds, I'll then be heading somewhere to acquire these clothes that will help me blend in better. But I'm debating if I should get something that can simply obscure my light armor. If I don't wear the armor, then there's the risk of someone trying to tag the bounty on me. But if I do wear armor, I might get a few funny looks from the Terran populace. Can't be arousing suspicion like that. I think that I'll err on the side of caution and wear the armor. Now let's see what is available at the establishments in this town. Well, there aren't too many options. This might be a good thing since it means everyone will generally be wearing similar articles of clothing. But what to choose for myself? A black leather jacket, decent protection and large enough to go over my chest piece. That's good. Definitely going to have to remove the back part of the torso, unfortunately, but I guess it can't be helped. And something beneath that. What to choose? A gray long-sleeve t-shirt. Looks decent enough. Wait, no, if I wear the t-shirt, then the chest plate will show for sure. Looks like I'll have to hold off on wearing the armor here and resort to the Eternian ultralight set I've got in storage. Shouldn't be too bulky and provide at least some protection against most Terran firearms. As I hear that some of the locals call it. Then we choose yes, we'll go for some black jeans and shoes. That should work fine. keep everything relatively monochromatic, and avoid attention while maintaining a decent enough appearance for our new potential crewmate. A black belt as well. Might be able to strap something to it. Yes, I'll pick up one of those as well. Don't think I'll have any need for a scarf since it isn't cold, or a hat. No, in case I should ever require it in the future. Couldn't imagine even thinking about what needed to be done to make it here on Terra. I'll definitely have to thank the barista for their kindness. Hopefully convince them with the next few weeks that they should come aboard. I've got confidence that they'd make a fantastic crewmate, and I'm sure the two of you will get along well too. Guess I'll have a chance to make it up to them. One last thing on the itinerary before heading out to perform the day's tasks, and before meeting up with the barista. Let's check one more time if there's any dry docks in the area. I know my survey didn't pick any up, but I might as well check the data one more time. I really can't believe it. There's really none. Not in the general vicinity. Even in the next towns over, there's not a single one. How far behind are the Terrans in terms of technology? Anyways, I have to go and get myself some dollars from that pawn shop. Just know that I'm thinking of you, always, and missing you every moment. I cherish you and everything that you are to me. And one day, I say it a lot, but I promise to return to you once you've sorted out your business on Proxima. Then, we can live the life we've always dreamed of. One day in the future, I'll be at your side again, out there among the stars, and I'll never let you go. This is Riker Feldstar, Audio Log 3, signing off. No matter the cost. Bills to pay, got mouths to feed. There ain't nothing in this world for free. I can't slow down, can't hold back, you know, I wish I could. No, there ain't no rest for the wicked until we close our eyes for good. Atlas above. Looks like I forgot to turn off the recording. No matter. I'm sure I'll remember to delete it before I send it.